Don't get fat during the holidays. Too many of us walk into special events, holidays, whatever occasion it might be, your sister's wedding, your brother's bar mitzvah, whatever. You're going into a difficult food environment where people might want to drink a little more, eat some sloppy food, and you might want to indulge a little bit given that it is a special occasion. And here's how we're going to discuss how you can do that without setting yourself back on your fat loss and insulin resistant goals, as well as mitigate any damage that might occur so you can still crush your diabetes and insulin resistance and keep it rolling going forward. For those of you who don't know, my name is Robert. I help busy professionals, executives, entrepreneurs crush their insulin resistance and repair their health so they can regain their energy, so they can crush their life goals, and obviously improve their quality of life. So let's get right into it today because we're going to discuss how you cannot be a victim to the holiday festivities. Everything that we're going to get into in this video won't be as much of a help if you're not already doing the foundational work of moving your lifestyle toward more healthier habits and doing what I like to call the foundation, which is making sure that you're eating in a caloric deficit, you're prioritizing your protein and veggies and eating those with every meal, you're eating large portions of those, you're fasting at least 12 hours a day, doing some type of daily activity, which is might just be walking for 10 or 15 minutes after you eat. You're prioritizing sleep and rest. You're not drinking sodas, dessert coffees. You're not drinking calories in general, unless it's like a general protein shake after you work out or maybe to get into some extra protein during the day. You're minimizing your snacking, you're minimizing your calorie load, and you're doing what you can to minimize your blood sugar spikes. Okay? And you're using supplements to assist your goals. If you're doing all of this already, you're doing a fantastic job, and you're likely already seeing a lot of progress and results, which is why you're watching this video. You want to know how to not mess that up, which is very fair. So what we're going to get into is, one, the tactics, but also have the mindset that you can have some bad food here and there. Okay? If you're doing what's on this list 90% of the time, indulging here and there isn't going to destroy your fat loss gains. It's not going to make you more diabetic. Okay? You can indulge here and there even without a plan and you'll be fine. But here in this video, we're going to talk about how to have a plan so it doesn't hurt you. But once again, if you fall off the horse for a day or two or a few hours, as long as you get back on it as quickly as possible, you'll be fine. But let's get back into the tactics. The first is plan, prepare, and modify. Very similar to what we're doing already, but more so knowing that we have holidays coming up. So we're going to think, we have a holiday coming up in a few days, or we have a special event coming up in a few days. How can I modify my routine in advance, so if I plan to indulge later, it's not going to hurt me? This is what we need to think about, right? So how much food or what foods do I need to eat a few days in advance to maybe lower my calorie load a little bit? Do I need to prolong my fasting, change my exercise up a little bit? Try to think about what can I do before and after to make sure that I don't hurt myself too much. And what do I have time for? What do I have time for? That's another big thing. What can you realistically do with your busy schedule, right? And that leads us into the the rules of engagement, right? So we need to take this into account when we're planning. And these are all the things that we're going to plan for. All the tips that are going to be implemented will be implemented several days before and after and on the day of the special event. So just think, okay, worst case scenario, I'm going to implement this a day or two before the event, the day of, and the day or two after. So say Thanksgiving's coming around. This video was filmed around the first week of November, so many of us are preparing for Thanksgiving. So you're probably thinking, oh man, what am I going to do? Thanksgiving's coming around, I made such great progress. Simply, the week of Thanksgiving, many of us are already preparing for the holidays and winding down work. here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a plan for that week going into Thanksgiving and the weekend after. All right? And the whole goal is to help us manage excessive eating, any damage that might come from excessive eating, and any guilt that might come from that. Okay? Because you want to indulge, and that's fine. Here's how we're going to do it. The first thing is we're going to eat less calories. Number one, we're going to find a way to eat less calories. So, like I said, we're going to plan and prepare in advance. So if Thanksgiving's coming up, right? That Monday going into Thanksgiving, you're already thinking, okay, I need to lessen the amount of calories that I'm eating because I'm going to have, some large meals or some snacks or whatever food I'm going to be drinking on Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I need to eat less calories and maybe get ahead of my fat loss goals for anything that might push me back on that Thursday. And then do the same thing that Friday, Saturday, Sunday after Thanksgiving as you get back on it. So what does that look like? You might have something like 6 ounces of chicken, a handful of vegetables, and maybe a handful of potatoes or sweet potatoes for lunch. Instead of having that meal, you might switch out the sweet potatoes and maybe put in some beans, or maybe put in another serving of vegetables to lessen the calories. You might just take out the carbs as a whole or cut them in half and add in some more protein to lower the amount of calories that you're having but still staying full, and minimizing those portions. So minimizing the carb and fat intake, because it's usually the fats that are going to have the most calories, and it's usually going to be the carbs that you can eat in excess without getting as full. Okay? And you want to maximize your protein and veggie intake. So this is simply just eating a ton of protein and vegetables. Now, I'm not necessarily saying go keto. You can still have some carbs here and there. We're just going to minimize the portions even further. You're going to replace a lot of those, carbs that you're going to have with just more of the veggies and protein. And you can have protein shakes if you need to curb that sweet tooth. That's completely fine. But this is how we're going to be thinking. And you want to do this a few days before and after your special event. Okay? We're also going to fast longer. So if you're usually fasting, 12, 14, maybe 16 hours, maybe add another hour or two onto that fast. And once again, we're going to do this the day before, after, the day of the special event, especially the day of. The day of is very important. Why? Because this also is another tool for us to minimize our calorie intake, okay, and sort of get ahead of our fat loss goals, as well as get back on track the days after. But the day of, you're supposed to say Thanksgiving, for example, you're used to breaking your fast around 12 o'clock. But you know that the big lunch or festivity is going to happen at 4. We might push our fast all the way till 4. Because that might be, okay, I stopped eating yesterday around 9 p.m. I fast for 15 hours. I'm not going to eat till 12. Hey, maybe we fast for 18, 19 hours that day. And the other days before and after, you do, 16 or 17 hour fast. The reason I love this so much, and my clients do, is because this takes no real time or extra effort. And they already could fast in longer periods already. But this allows them to better control how they eat going forward. It's just such a great tool to use, because it also helps mitigate any damage that might come from any eating that might take place, excessive eating. So definitely fast longer, especially the day of. And when you break the fast, especially say on Thanksgiving, for example, you are going to want to break your fast same way you would in any other situation, but you're going to go ham with the vegetables and the protein. So Thanksgiving's coming around. There's the peach cobbler and the pie and the cookies and whatever. Your goal is to break your fast with as much turkey, chicken, veggies as possible. That's going to be your first plate of food, is a big plate of turkey and vegetables. You have to eat that first. You can have whatever you want after that, but you're going to have a big plate of turkey and vegetables first. and then have a small glass of water. Because what this is going to do is slow down your gastric emptying, and you're going to be super full. And it's just going to minimize any blood sugar spikes that you might have from any lasagna, pasta, cookies, any excessive carbs eating. And on top of that, it'll likely make you want to eat less carbs on top of that. So it works especially great. This has worked very well for me over the years. I can't tell you how well it's worked for me. So think about this as you're going into Thanksgiving and Christmas as well. On those days, break your fast with a large plate of turkey and vegetables. It works. However, if hunger arises before that, say you stopped eating yesterday at 8 p.m. and it's 2 o'clock, you've been fasting for 18 hours, and you're like, oh God, we're not eating till 4, I got another 2 hours, what am I going to do? Oh, and you start to feel the sweat and the hunger start to creep in. Understand, go ahead and break your fast. Go ahead and break your fast, but here's why we're going to strategically do it. If you have any, once again, protein and vegetables, or better yet, if you have protein and vegetables, maybe some fats. So maybe in the morning, they might have cooked some eggs, sausage, chicken. Great thing to break your fast with. We're going to keep the portions small so you don't spoil your appetite for later. Okay? So it doesn't need to be as large a plate, like small, moderate. But the reason I like this so much is because it allows you to curb your hunger. At the same time, it also doesn't spoil your appetite for later, and it's still low in calories. So you're not going to completely destroy your fat loss goals. Okay? So this works very well. And after you break your fast, you could also snack on some crackers or popcorn that are also very low in calories. The easiest thing to do, though, to make sure you don't snack, just go on a long walk after you break your fast. Go on a long walk after you break your fast. It's super simple. It's a very, very, very easy way to do so. Okay? Definitely do that. Another thing you want to do on the day of, especially the day of, but the days before and after leading into this, is getting in more physical activity. So if you're used to, just walking or doing one simple workout during the week, add in some extra things to your workouts to burn some extra calories, especially the day of. You want to hit a workout hard on days that you know you're going to eat more. Okay? On days you know you're going to eat more, that 1 hour gym session, make it 2. But you only have to do this once. If you're usually doing 20 minutes on the elliptical, make it a 45-minute or hour-long elliptical session. Okay? You're used to doing a 30-minute walk, make it an hour. Okay? Whatever you can to burn some extra calories and get some movement in, especially after you're done eating or drinking. Make sure you get up and you get moving. Okay? Get moving, get everybody you know on a walk. The worst thing you can do is sit there and do nothing. Just make sure you get in a lot of steps after you're done eating. If you do that, you'll be good to go. So if you follow all the things I mentioned in that video, you should be good to go. But remember, this also leans on the back of the foundational lifestyle principles that I mentioned earlier. If you're just looking for a one-off thing so you can keep your terrible lifestyle, this isn't going to help you too much. However, though, if you do have the foundational principles of lifestyle change and healthier habits, these hacks are going to work very well for you. But remember to implement them days before, the day of, and the day after the holidays or special event or whenever you implement them. This should be really helpful for you guys and will make sure that you're not a victim to the detrimental effects of excess eating during the holidays. And it'll also make sure you don't have a plan. That's the biggest thing, is making sure that you have a plan going into things so you're not as stressed out. Okay? You know exactly what to do. The biggest thing, guys, don't feel bad about having a little extra food during the holidays. It's not a big deal as long as you get back on the horse as quickly as possible. Get back on the horse as quickly as possible and you'll be fine. All right? Keep the portions small. Don't go too hard. Get back on the horse as quickly as possible and you'll be good to go. Do what I mentioned in this video. You pretty much will have very little repercussions from the holidays. But anyway, I hope this helps you guys. Please follow me for more. Please subscribe, smash the like button, follow me on Facebook, IG, TikTok. Where else am I? I'm everywhere, man. Just please follow me. Talk to you. Peace.